Okay, so in this video, I just want to talk about, transitions and training to make transitions from one state to the other, from one frequency to the other, from one timeline to another, from one state of being to another. And so the way I'll illustrate this is through a story of someone that I was working with a long time ago, who, I relate to this too. Like, I think every guy growing up has sort of been here before, at least once in their life. And so, I'll probably laugh telling this, but I'm not laughing at the person. If you're watching this, I'm not laughing at you, okay? I'm laughing at, the way I'm telling this, because it is kind of funny, the process that we go through, even though when we're in it, it feels terrible. It's like the worst thing in life is happening to you, and the universe is conspiring against you to not let you have anything that you want, and all that stuff. But so this young guy comes to me, and he's so awkward socially. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know when to say it. He's just, his energy is just amped up all the time. He doesn't know what to do with it or where to put it. And like any young hot-blooded male, he's easily aroused by the opposite sex, and pictures of the opposite sex, and just thinking about the opposite sex. Okay, so every time he inevitably comes into contact with a pretty girl, he starts getting all like nervous and awkward, and he starts blushing, and he can't speak, and he gets all like stuttery, and he can't think straight, and you get the idea. And so, I say, well, what do you want to do about this? He says, well, I want a girlfriend. I want to be able to, find a nice girl who likes me for who I am, and I want to have a girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, so that's the goal. And he's like, yeah. So, he's in this awkward position where he's so overwhelmed at the prospect of even approaching that situation, that who he's being and how he's behaving is pushing that experience away, because obviously the girl that he's looking for, that he wants to match with, is going to be weirded out by this behavior, right? She's going to go, well, he's a nice guy and everything, but why is he acting so weird? And so he's pushing her away before he can even meet her, right, energetically. So, he's in this sort of double bind where he's pushing and pulling against this reality that he's wanting so bad that he's, energetically constipated. He's like in Blue Ball Lagoon psychically, right? And so so to saying things to him like, just be yourself and just relax and all that, the common tools, the common cliche strategies that you see in the movies, and it's not going to work for him at his level, especially because he's hypersensitive. He's probably on the spectrum a little bit, and just eye contact is really difficult for him. And eye contact is part of the seduction process, in a lot of cases. So we'd start teaching him like little breathing techniques just to get him to self-regulate and calm down. So we do things like, get him into a relaxed state where he would start to fantasize, but then he would relax through it and come out of it again, and not be amped up by it, right? And so that was some of the internal processes, the kind of internal processes. But then we go and get into do external processes too, like just practicing making eye contact with people, not attractive girls, not unattractive girls, just people in general. Get used to making eye contact, and that was really difficult for him. So he had to practice this. He had to, first he'd just make eye and then pull away, and he'd have to deal with the emotion after that happened and self-regulate and calm down and normalize that and neutralize that and discharge the tension around that experience until it became, he was comfortable just making eye contact with people when he was talking to them. And then slowly from there, then we could start building onto these, let's say, more advanced techniques. They weren't really more advanced techniques, but they were advanced for him at his level. Okay, so one of the things I get asked all the time is, what is energetic arts really? Because people want to categorize it, they want to put it in a box, they want to label it, they want to judge it, they want to place a value on it, and then in a snap decision, because no one has any time to really think things through, generally speaking, they want to work out whether it's going to be good for them to do or not based on what they're trying to achieve. And so a lot of people just miss the boat completely and the point, and they end up, pushing things to the side and pushing things away because they're too busy trying to get to what they want, because they think that is going to bring them the relief of the stress of not having it, right? But to cut a long story short, with this young man that I was working with, is that over a few tiny little exercises and really in a short time of training, he managed to regulate his energy enough where he just wasn't pushing the girl away that was already in his environment, that already had a crush on him, that felt comfortable enough to make herself, let's say, available in terms of letting him know that she was attracted to him so he could move forward towards that. And within a very short period of time, he had the girlfriend that he was looking for. And with that brought, the dam busted open, so to speak, where he could just relax. The energy started to dissipate. And he was able to just, discharge all that tension and become, that guy that he was trying so desperately to be to get to the girl, where all he needed to do was relax a little bit and the girl showed up, and then he could be the guy that had the girl. Okay, so don't underestimate these tiny little training sessions. It only takes a couple to change and shift your energy enough to get what you want, right? And that's a great place to start, right? And if you're one of those people that all you want to do is you want to come up and do a training session or two and, get that little nugget that you've been missing, or tune that practice in that you haven't quite landed, that you sort of know how to do, but it's not quite working, you're not sure why, then that, then you can get whatever it is that you're trying to be manifesting, then that's cool. You can do that. But what I've found is that the people that I'm attracting are people who have sort of mastered a lot of things, right? And they've gotten and manifested a lot of things. In fact, they're in this belief system where they know they can pretty much manifest anything that they want now, and they can master any skill that they want now. So it's not about acquiring stuff. It's about practicing the skill of mastering skills, you know, and seeing just what's possible and being an adventurer, an explorer of that unknown space, and seeking out those discomforts, you know, because after a little bit of training, after a little bit of acquiring and manifesting certain things, you start to build up this toolkit, this skill set. You know, it's like that. I have a very special set of skills, and you can start to apply this to all sorts of new environments and new dimensions of reality that seemingly don't exist to the 95% of unawakened, let's say, people, or, you know, people who are just beginning this process. So energetic arts is a great place if you're an absolute beginner and you have no real bad habits and you're starting out fresh and you have no idea where you're going, or, you know, you're overwhelmed by all the different types of information out there and you're not sure what to do or which step to take first. You know, it's a great place to start to get you into a good rhythm and a good lane where you can bypass a lot of the dead ends and the unnecessary stumbling blocks, you know, and to just sort of hone in on a good corridor of information that's going to give you access to a lot of opportunities, okay? Or on the other hand, maybe you're one of those people who've done everything. Like, you've been in self-help and personal development for decades, and you're like, now what? What else is there? You know, I pretty much know everything. You know, I know that there's more to know, and I know that there's a lot more in the unknown, but I'm in a pretty good place, you know. I've mastered this, I've manifested money and objects and relationships, and I'm healthy and I'm fit, and I know how to do all that stuff. And now, you know, I just want to hone my craft. I just want to refine everything. I want to get all those tools off the shelf that I've collected over, you know, my whole career in this industry, and I want to really master them, and I want to create some beautiful pieces of artwork with this thing we call reality. So if that's where you're at, then man, look no further. Come join the crew, and you know, let's just get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's play with all this stuff, and let's create some, or let's align with some really cool cool realities, really cool pieces of art. Let's say that.